basic structure doctrine India constitution a basic structure te hi engma atirin omlo hi engtin nga ron chodan evolution of basic structure hi kanzir dona tum chapter a hian a basic structure hi India constitution siam tu te khan engma andalo amar jo kan constitution supreme court in judicial review anayin basic structure hi it should not violate the basic structure of the constitution tin basic structure hi mun poi mo ta karon da chantira he basic structure hi engtin nge aron chodana kha kanjer turani he chapter hi Supreme Court case in Sankari Prasad case 1951 Sankari Prasad versus Union of India Power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution under Article 368 also include the power to amend fundamental right aron titani. Article 13 hoya law omkha. Kami kaning esoi kan te chun he Article 13 yanin India Constitution na fundamental right oma hi englo ma in a violate thailawang tikha a oma. Chu Sankari Prasad case or Sankari Prasad versus Union of India 1951 India in DPSP noya land reform se kalpuyan tu reservation te kalpuyan tu khang hawa khan right to equality kan ti te right to property kan ti alchi te violate ngai ta ni fundamental right me kha chu wang chuan he Sankari Prasad case 1951 ron langa chu parliament hian indu chuan constitutional amendment act in siam thaya constitution in tidang lamanga Article 368 in Parliament thun in apek angin Constitution in tidanglam thaya amar chu law Constitution tidanglam lavin law fundamental right violate zongin engma in siam thailo aron tidani chu wang chuan Article 13 law asahi only ordinary law and not the Constitutional Amendment Act in he Sankari Prasad versus Union of India 1951 case again judgment aron chok tani he judgment bo zui hian first Constitutional Amendment Act kan ti kha siam aron ni tani hona local le Supreme Court in judgment Sankari Prasad case allow siam to kha aron reverse le tani chu eng case nge Golaknath versus State of Punjab land ceiling Punjab an kalpuya chuta chon Golaknath brother te po khan right to property Article 31 umte kha khang ho khan ron tran chan ve ni fundamental right ani kha violate thai ni lo amara chu Article 39 clause C ya enge kan mu kan te chonin prohibition of concentration of wealth kha kan mu ni chu wang chonin mitlem te kuta hausakna khatiang India ram hausakna land na zong ni mo resources ang zong ni mo mitlem te kuta omkha aphal tura ni lawa state in chu wang chon distribution kha ati tura ni chu wang chon Golaknath brother te po khan property kha limit china kha chu lak sak an lo ni ta ni chu wang chon fundamental right Article 31 ina right to property pe kha violate lo ni ta Golaknath brother te kha Supreme Court an kala chuta chonin the state ne aning kheng ta ni Supreme Court judgment Golaknath versus State of Punjab in the year of 1967 chonin Supreme Court in tun ma Sankari Prasad case judgment alo siam to kha aron reverse judgment ron choka chon Parliament cannot abridge fundamental right as Constitutional Amendment Act is also allowed within the meaning of Article 13 aron titani hi enge omsia kan te chon Sankari Prasad case chonin law kan ti Article 13 na mi khanin ordinary law chawa huama chu wang chon Constitutional Amendment Act kha a huam tel lawati kha tuna chuan Golaknath case versus State of Punjab 1967 na chuan Supreme Court in Article 13 na law Constitutional Amendment Act mo ordinary law mo eng law po Constitutional Amendment Act khan a huam vekani chu wang chonin Parliament hianin fundamental right hi apoi mo lo to ka inviolate thai lawa Parliament po hian fundamental right hi Constitutional Amendment mangpon inviolate thai lawang din judgment aron siama sangkari prasat khaisa chuan constitutional amendment act siam khan fundamental right a violate thei ti judgment oma mase golak nat khaisa chuanin constitutional amendment act pon fundamental right kha ati dang lam thei lawang tin aron soitani sangkhat zakwa samruk le pakwa nationalization of bank kantika aron oma chota chonin khati hun laya bank som ni ezet working capital po vaibel cha somma chong nei hawa tang khan bank som le pali nationalization ne chung ho chu sarkarin an bank kha lak sakin poisa fai na pelo chu wang chon rc kupar case kha sangkhat zakwa samsaria kan muwa khang ho rang sang te kha judgment a khanin supreme court in heng hoi an property in lak sak chonin poisa in pengal turani in lak sak hu ang kha poisa in pengal turani aron titani chowang chon inder gandhi khan supreme court ina athilti a sarkarina athilti ang chi ho kha an lo block zela wangin tuna chuan constitutional amendment siam mangai ni aron titani chu chuan 24th constitutional amendment act 1971 an ron siama which provided Parliament has the power to abridge fundamental right under Article 368. Article 368 huai hian Parliament has the power to amend the Constitution. Constitution ti danglam turin Article 368 a Parliament khan thunei na nei. Hei hi Article 368 a Parliament ka power pe kani. Chu Constitutional Amendment Act 24th Constitutional Amendment Act in aron soichu aron zi abelta Parliament has the power to abridge the fundamental right under Article 368 and such an act will not be considered a law under Article 13. Article 13 na law kanti khan eng law ma in fundamental right a violate turan ni lo ti Article 13 na om khan he Constitutional Amendment Act Parliament in Article 368 mga asia mani chonin Article 13 na law ti khan a huam tel lawang ti laya kha aron siam thatani 24th Constitutional Amendment Act chon 24th Constitutional Amendment Act pass ani tak nuwa khan Kerala Kesavananda Bharati priest khapa temple kha sarkarin public interest an lak saktani chu fundamental right Article 31 right to property kanti ang chithaw kanti kha violate aron nile tani chowang chon Kesavananda Bharati case hianin RC Cooper case kanti te golaknat case kanti ang chihawa Supreme Court in thiama chantir amar chu Parliament in Constitutional Amendment Act asiama wanga lung oi to lo hau khan Kesavananda Bharati an lo moral support an lo pevia chuta chon zo na an siam tani chuta chon temple hi an lak thailo lampang an zot lo an zo chu is the power of Parliament is the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution is unlimited is the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution is unlimited Parliament hian Constitution ti danglam tur hian unlimited power na yem tikha anzo na ni tani chu Kesavananda Bharati case judgment Supreme Court in aron ti chokta chuan Parliament is empowered to abridge or take away any of the fundamental right eng po hi Parliament in adu chuan alabo thaya or a violate thai amara chu without altering the basic structure of the Constitution aron titani chu Kesavananda Bharati case hi basic structure of the Constitution ron chona anitani chu wangchon from which case basic structure of the Constitution emerged Kesavananda Bharati case 1973 tang hianin India rama basic structure of the Constitution kanti hi kan mangtan vetani hei Constitution a omlo Constitution a pakhat ma mention ani lawa heng hoi basic structure of the Constitution ani ati po omchung lo eng chin hinge basic structure chu po chu kan thachong Supreme Court in judgment sang lo siam to tangin hi chu basic structure of the constitution ani ati chin ho ba ka hi kan thela chung ho chu appoint in point som ni veljet karonta kan lo screenshot na ngai don ani basic structure aron chu nu khan huna local le theta Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan 1975 case aron oma Indira Gandhi hian general election na government official ang chi ho hi man thai ni lo an ma ni ham that na turin amra chu thil ho te alo manga chu case aron luta Allahabad High Court khan thiam lo chan tira chu ta chon election nei that le mai turani amara chu Indira Gandhi hian kot athuna ina mangsola Constitutional Amendment Act asiam tani chu Constitutional Amendment Act 39 Constitutional Amendment Act 1975 ina sai chu Prime Minister election ate Speaker of Lok Sabha election khang hawa khan dispute allow omani pon it is outside the jurisdiction of judicial court how khan anthona ina hom china nilavang tin Constitutional Amendment Act 39 Constitutional Amendment Act ka around siam tani 39 Constitutional Amendment Act John place the dispute relating to President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Speaker of Lok Sabha kanti ang chi tika beyond the scope of judicial court eng ma khang haw election a chon dispute heng President, Prime Minister, Vice President, Speaker of Lok Sabha kanti election dispute alo omani pon judicial review kanti ang chi tika om thai to don no achan chu judicial court a khang haw ka thu boya lak thai ton lawa chu mai ba ka judicial court haw thu nei na ni to lo tin Constitutional Amendment Act 39 Constitutional Amendment Act kha aron siam tani they are to be decided by such authority as may be determined by the parliament in thu nei na apek te chawin dispute lo omani pon an ngai to tawang aron tita chu wang chonin ko thau thu nei dakha aron lak than sakta ne Indira Gandhi kas 1975 election nei thatle tura khanin Allahabad High Court ina thiam lo chantir to no pokan adu lawa a step down do lawa election nei thatle ai chuanin national emergency pon kha adu ta joka sangkha zakwa somsari le panga national emergency aron puanga opposition leader hoka aman khoma zelan tang do vekani chuti hun lai sangkhat zakwa somsari le paruk chawa 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act hi national emergency line aron siam tani chuta chuan the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 amended Article 368 the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution kanti Article 368 apoka aron amend hala and declare that there is no limitation on the constituent power of Parliament and any amendment cannot be questioned in any court on any ground including that of contravention of any fundamental right. Article 368 India Constitution tidang lam tura Constitution in Parliament tunay na apek ka article ka aron tidang lama he Article 368 mga Parliament in Constitution nami engpo any amendment engpo aron tidang lama mo aron da bele mo apa ithene mo ani pon cannot be questioned in any court on any ground including of fundamental right niya na law in millaw ni pon question ka khoi ko ta ama ati thai to don lo tika Constitutional Amendment Act 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act khat aron ta tani amara cho Supreme Court in Minerva Mills versus Union of India 1980 case declared that this provision is unconstitutional and void omze omlo as it excluded judicial review which is basic structure or basic features of the Constitution aron titani basic structure of the Constitution 1973 Kesavananda Bharati kaisa kan muka sangkhat zakwa samriata Minerva Mills versus Union of India hianin Supreme Court in tranchana alo manga Supreme Court in tranchana alo manga chuchut enge soikan te chonin 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act na Judicial Review High Court Supreme Court ina annei the tolo turaka al alak bo sakaka tunachun aron restore sakle tane basic features of the Constitution because it's violate the basic features or structure of the Constitution aron titane. Then 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1977 hi kan pongpoka 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in High Court le Supreme Court hawnya judicial review aom thailovang ati layakha restore jurisdiction of Supreme Court and High Court in respect of judicial review in issue of writ. He judicial review he power he Supreme Court le High Court ne na khan in Constitutional Amendment Act in nge restore le kanti choni 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act Minerva Mills po khan he tranchana aron manga Minerva Mills versus Union of India 1980 kesa 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act na helaya cannot be questioned in any court on any ground aron ti judicial review hi alak bo sa kachuwang chonin basic structure nen ay in milawe chuwang chonin it is unconstitutional tin judgment aron siam tani Constitutional Amendment Act ahrim shim chon judicial review restore le naka 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Thus the Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution under Article 368 he judgment hi 40 Kesavananda Bharati case judgment akan mukha under Article 368 Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution but without affecting the basic structure of the Constitution basic structure of the Constitution ka Kesavananda Bharati case 1973 Supreme Court judgment atang inaron choka chuchu tunahianin basic structure of the Constitution hi engtiklai ma in fundamental right emo khoi part po ha Constitution Amendment Article 368 noi aron siamponi se basic structure of the Constitution hi ti ibau thayan nilaw ti ka Supreme Court stand na niya chuchun judgment an siam sangkha jakwa samsari le pathang matanga India rama mantran aron nitani Supreme Court in engchin hinge basic structure of the Constitution ati da chu hei Constitution eng ma hi basic structure of the Constitution ani eti om chuang lo chu wang chuan heng hawa hi screenshot a chin chiangai note down nangai supremacy of the Constitution unity and integrity judicial review rule of law freedom and dignity of the individual principles underlying fundamental rights heng hawa hi screenshot angai pausula screenshot mai ro he ho pe hi chin chiangai heng ho hi case rang Sankari Prasad case Goloknath case Kesavananda Bharati case khang ho kha chin chiangai aron nitani heng ho hi basic structure of the Constitution ron chodan evolution of basic structure of the Constitution noya kanzir tur aron nitani